Everyone, and I do welcome you again for the Info OBE Virtual Summit 2022. We are here for parallel session, theme 3, topic 2. Our topic here is designing for effective learning using digital technologies. And my name is Dr. Saad Hassan. I'll be your host. So again, thank you very much to all of you who have joined us. We have 5 excellent papers for here. And I'm happy to introduce to you, first of all, Dr. Henrik Grossek, who is going to be talking about the use of immersive technology to enhance student learning. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Grossek.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the honour and the pleasure of participating in today's program. It's a very noteworthy program. And from a school's point of view, I'm principal of a large school in Melbourne, Australia, Victoria, and we've done some exciting things, we believe, and it's a real honour to be able to share them. Our journey began with a question: how can we better engage children with their reading, their learning in reading? We felt that they were engaged, but there's always room for improvement, and some children, particularly the boys, less so than others. Today, and that started 4 years ago. Today, 4 years later, our students are now building both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional augmented reality artifacts as part of their digital technologies program. And we've also completed the writing, development and publication of a fully 3D AR children's illustrated storybook. So it's been quite a journey, and where we started and where we finished are different places. We're very proud of where we are now. There's a long way to go, but so much as in good education, you start a journey. Sometimes you have an outcome already built in, and that's where you hope to land. In our case, we landed there, but we've moved on. And I think that's really the exciting part, the unplanned continuation. And I think that ultimately is the best for children too, where they arrive somewhere beyond where they may have intended. And we want to share our story with you. The first part, it's really 2 parts. And the first part of our story was, how do we get children better engaged in their reading and ultimately their learning? And to this end, we decided that augmented reality in literature might be a possibility. So we partnered up with one of our universities, Deakin University, and we worked with them on, well, what if we created a book, a storybook? We wrote a storybook about the environment and empowerment of children in Saving the Forests, a book called Hetty and Harry's Forest Adventure. And the idea was that we would develop this fully 3D augmented reality storybook, create an application, an app that enabled people, a free app, to access the 3D AR capability of the book. So there really are 2 stories, the AR story, 3D AR story, and the written story. And the Deakin would then research the impact that had on student interest. So that was part 1, and that was what we started out to do. Of course, student agency is a big issue in our schools in Victoria and Australia, and we wanted the children to be involved as much as possible. Now, at that point in time, we have very little capability and expertise in our school in terms of teaching augmented reality. So we hired some people to help build that, but we felt that if the children were not involved, then it would be not quite the investment for them. So the children in the book were very central to selecting. In fact, they selected the illustrator for this children's book. They also had great input into the story of the book, which is about empowering children in helping us protect our environment. A key character was Harry, the helmeted honeyeater. He's our school emblem and one of the most endangered species of birds in our country. And we're ambassadors for that. And then when we completed the project, the children are the voiceovers of the two main characters. So they play a central role all the way through that book, Harry and Hetty. We've now finished that book. It's now been published. It's being used in our school, and Deakin University are working with us to ascertain and measure the impact on children's engagement with a book that's not just a traditional print book, and one in which children had a vested interest in developing, participating in and delivering. Here is a copy, front page of the book. It's Harry and Hetty's Forest Adventure. It's a great book, and on the back is the app and how anybody who uses the book gets the app and can then access the story. When we got to that point, we thought, wow, that's the beginning. How do we now introduce augmented reality as a capacity part of our school toolkit? And we were looking at that again with Deakin University, and there are some key issues in teaching, and we felt through immersive technology, and in this case, augmented reality, if we could capture the enthusiasm in that first book in a teaching and learning program, these were the things that mattered to us, and we're working on seeing to what extent we're implementing them. One is the excitement factor. Kids learn when they have enthusiasm. We found with that book that the children love it. It raises movement, action. Children like that. It's very modern technology. Agency. I mentioned that before. Agency in your learning, we feel, is very important. And so we find that augmented reality, teaching it, and of course what we do is we teach the children to create prototype augmented reality characters. Our teacher, Robert Kelly, uses a particular tool called the Reality Composer. That's an Apple tool. It's free, it's iOS software package. It helps the teacher to teach children prototypes, produce AR experiences in AR, and the beauty of it is it's free and the children don't need any prior three-dimensional 3D AR experience. So it works very well in a elementary school, 5 to 12-year-old children. So that's the tool he uses. And the children build the prototypes. Now, the other parts is, so that's two things. The third thing, personalised learning and purposeful learning, creativity, collaboration. Those are the things that matter, we think, in high quality student engagement learning. Personalised learning is all about individualised learning. That is, the kids work at their own pace. They are in control to a large degree of their learning, with teachers supporting them in a more mentoring role. Purposeful learning. Now, this is where we're using some other artefacts. I've written 5 children's books based around Australian animal stories. The children selected the illustrator for those 5 books. Mr. Robert Kelly sat down with the children looking at Harry and Hetty's book. The children across the school liked the book, and as a promotional engagement tool, he said, well, how would you children like to learn to create 2 and 3D models for the 5 books which I've donated to the school? So all this year, the children have been using the Reality Composer tool and the expertise Mr. Kelly has developed. The children, 10 to 12-year-olds, have been building AR artifacts for those 5 books. which now I've donated to the school, and the children are completely in control of what those characters will be. They work in teams. It's highly collaborative, which ticks another box for our school. Very creative because it's up to them. And what we've found with immersive technology is that it's such a flexible tool. It's so contemporary. It fits in with children's interests so well. And because it ticks an important box for us, which is what we call agency, student empowerment in their learning, we're finding, or what we've found is they've come up with some wonderful artifacts. And the purposeful learning, there's a synergy. The children are learning, but they're learning for a practical purpose. And at the end of this, our children will very proudly have both learnt about AR and secondly, contributed to something of value both to them and to their colleagues in our school and hopefully children elsewhere. Collaboration is one of those things that working together as a team, teamwork, it can mean many things, as can creativity. We've found that with our journey, it's also promoted creativity in our teaching staff. The teachers have sat in on this. They've also seen the power of empowering children through the program of building, designing, testing, and of course being central participants, firstly in the Hetty and Harry 3D book, the concept of the book itself, which is about children saving the forest, because the environment's under threat in our country. And then, of course, moving on to the 5 storybooks, which also they chose the illustrator, they're central characters in it, and there's a high degree of ownership. So I guess overall, journeys that start in a certain place, we certainly want outcomes and we set outcomes, but I think where there's a flexibility and a continual growth factor into it, and there's no limits with immersive technology insofar as children can learn. And we're so proud to be able to present to you people today. We're a public school in Australia, and we're talking here about 10 to 12-year-old children engaging in this and the learning that they're doing for both their own future, and they're contributing to the learning of other children. I think that's a brief summary. We're more than happy to share our expertise, our learnings, and the research that Deakin are doing on this with anybody and everybody. We're quite accessible via our school website, Berwick Lodge Primary School. You can Google it. We'd love to share and talk with people. I think that's my 15 minutes. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Henry Krosek, for your presentation. And I have a question for you.
Yep.
One of the conditions of achieving the outcome is actually giving the right conditions for the learners. I mean, obviously you have done that in your school since you've attained such remarkable outcomes. So what do you suggest for people all around, how they actually, where it's difficult to set the right conditions, how do they use this immersive technology for their classrooms? Or should they do it, or should they first try focusing on creating the right conditions?
Look, it's a bit like anything. It's a good question. Where do you start? I think it starts with your attitude. Are we prepared to take a risk or not, and a sensible risk? When we began this journey, we knew nothing about augmented reality. Yes, we have computers. Yes, we have expertise in that field. But really, all we started with was an idea. And when you go back to the beginning of the idea, it was, how can we have children read better? And it was a suggestion, immersive technology, augmented reality. There's also virtual reality, but of course that's for children over 13 more than under 13. And from there, you just talk to people who have some knowledge, expertise. And as I said, the reality, if you've got computers and you've got some free software, it's very available. There is other software. You can start small with a small group of people and build up. I believe it's best not to come in with some whole school, massive, expensive program, and you've got to get buy-in from at least one or two people, including people who make the decision to allow it to happen.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to share it.
Pleasure. All right, so may I ask Dr. Vanita to please switch on your camera, please? All right, Dr. Vanita, do you have a slide to share? I think you're muted. All right, so.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, let me introduce you first. Okay, so our next speaker here today is Dr. Vanita KB. She's an associate professor at LIET. Her topic is designing for effective learning using digital technologies. Without any further ado, Dr. Vanita, I think you can start your presentation.
Okay. The screen is visible.
Your screen is visible, yes.
Yeah. Good morning to good evening to one and all, and welcome you all to the Infor-OBE Global Virtual Summit 2022. I, KB Vanita, Associate Professor of Lord's Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today, I am delivering a lecture on designing for effective learning using digital technologies. So here, an outcome is a culminating demonstration of learning. So actually, digital technology plays an important role in present situation. It enhances education delivery and significantly improves educational standards and employability. Its potentiality is not fully realized when the technology is not used in pedagogically supported way. Technological tools may increase innovative practices for teachers as well as for students. Thus, it is important for teachers to comprehend how teaching, technology, and learning are related, and these must be explained in the following diagram. Here, the diagram is there. So here we are having like a learning environment, professional development, curriculum and instruction, and standards and assessment. How these four concepts are relating with these core subjects and 21st century themes. So coming to the learning environment, digital technologies that can be used to facilitate and promote teaching practices and learning experiences for students behind the confines of standard teaching spaces. And coming to the professional development, the digital technologies offer immense potential for teachers, learning and the delivery of professional development activities. Curriculum and instruction. Nowadays, universities are providing a well-structured curriculum as well as AICT. So digital technologies curriculum enables a student to become confident and creative developers of digital solutions through the application of information system. Standards and assessment. Through assessment, we can assess the quality of student work, and to provide students feedback can improve academic skills as well as their performance. So these four concepts, what we are doing means we are mapping with the core subjects and 21st century themes. Through that, what is happening means the students are able to develop information and media and technology skills, learning and enhancing skills, life and career skills. So here, the effective use of technology. requires a transformation shift, like moving from one technology to the another technology. And this is accompanied by a professional development framework, which includes digital technological tools such as observation of teaching peers, technology integration, feedback, mentoring, and support from colleagues. So through this, what is happening means the students able to develop like idea, concepts, development of models, and innovative and creative. So here actually, I'm going to explain the effective learning that is happening. So here we are having digital literacy framework. So this digital literacy framework consists of 6 characteristics. What are that means, like coming to the research and information literacy. It enables students to seek, find, utilize, and cite high quality information quickly and efficiently. Coming to the critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making, the use of technology develop students to be more creative, problem solving, and decision making. Coming to the creativity and innovation, use of technological models and simulation methods make students creative and innovative. Through these, they remixes existing elements to create new content. Digital citizenship. So it refers to the responsible use of technology by anyone who uses computers, internet, and digital devices to engage with new technologies. So communication and collaboration. It improves workplace communication, collaboration, content management, document management, and information flow across the globe. Technology operations and concepts. So technology concepts and operations, what it is doing means, through these, students demonstrate a sound understanding of technology concepts and systems and operations. So the digital literacy framework will help to understand 6 paradigms of Infor OBE and make students like accountable, competable, versatile, and imaginative. And also it enhances talents and potentials and advancing human awareness, harmony, and sustainability. Actually, academic standards paradigm is terminally traditional, but what it implies that shift after shift make the technology. What we have to do means we have to transformation should happen in the education. So that transformation is possible through technology. Coming to the instructional technology. So here I'm having, actually I'm discussing about the instructional technology and how instructional technology influence learning and how should we incorporate technology in our designs and what are the challenges we are facing when we are designing the learning with the technology. So coming to the instructional technology. Actually, instructional design assist us in achieving a desired learning outcome. Through instructional technology, what we are doing means we are learning the outcomes and the students are learning. So here, so instructional design assist us in achieving a desired learning outcome. So experts in the field of educational technology often adopt the terms hard technologies and soft technologies. Coming to the hard technologies such as television, virtual reality, and internet-based learning. And when we are discussing about the soft technologies such as programmed instruction and game-based learning. Using soft and hard technologies, students can able to design, develop, utilize, manage, and evaluate instructional technology theory as well as practice. So here, this instructional technology influencing the learning. So in that we are having like a teacher-centered instruction as well as learner-centered instruction. So here we are trying to understand the teacher-centered instruction means what and learner-centered instruction means what. So coming to the teacher-centered instruction, sorry. So here under this the instructor is evaluating the student learning by content transmission, practice of basic skills through repetition, reinforcement of desired behaviors, and evaluation of how accurately the learners could respond to pre-programmed questions. Means here, under this, what is happening means already the questions are pre-programmed. And based on the questions, whatever the teacher is asking to the students, how he is responding to that questions. So that here we are evaluating. Through that, what we are doing means we are trying to evaluate the performance of the students. So here the learner's role was to acquire, the learner's role was to acquire provided information and reproduce it for evaluation. Coming to the learner-centered instruction, under these, the instructor evaluates student learning by content transmission and thinking and collaboration, as well as it facilitates a more collaborative way for students to learn by thinking and collaboration. And dialogue facilitated by a variety of tools. Here, how the students are using the technology. And technology as a mind tool support learners as they can interpret, organize, and the knowledge, engage in critical thinking about the content. And they can also, here the technology is also supporting the learners to actively participate in knowledge. Coming to the how can instructional technology influence learning? So here learners are viewed as active agents. Like they bring their own knowledge, past experiences, ideas into the learning process, which impacts how they learn new information. Means how we are gaining the new information and how the technology is helping us in gaining the new information. So that is explained through this through this improve how we are learning how we are learning new information using the technology. So how we can improve the learning, like simulating authentic human activity. Coming to the simulating authentic human activity, the simulating authentic human activity will be explained in three concepts, like it involves problem-based learning, inquiry-based learning, and project-based learning. Coming to the project-based learning, it uses technology to create conditions that are similar to real life and encourages students to gain new knowledge. Coming to inquiry-based learning, here what is happening means it encourages learners to actively explore material and ask questions and discuss possible solutions. And coming to the project-based learning, it engages learners in authentic and complex projects, often developing a tangible product, enabling learners to actively explore real-world problems and gain deeper knowledge and skills. Coming to the enhancing interactions among students, digital technology has a tremendous potential to enable interactions and connections between people, like social presence, cognitive presence, teaching presence. Coming to the social presence, the feeling of being connected and present with each other. Like here, we can take the example of a student and instructor to learn about each other. And cognitive presence, the feeling of being intellectually present in the community, like online question and answer sessions or group collaborations. Here we can take the example. Coming to the teaching presence, the feeling of being supported by a teacher, well-designed curriculum and opportunities. Here, students are getting the support from the instructors, and whatever the support they are giving, through that the students are learning. Coming to the enriching the learning process. So collaborative technologies offer unique affordance that go behind connecting learners across time and space by enabling easy access to multiple perspectives from diverse populations across the globe. So here, how should we incorporate technology in our designs? First, we are talking about the align technology with the pedagogy. How we are aligning the technology with our pedagogy. So here, what designers are doing means designers are encouraged to purposefully match technology with underlying pedagogical principles, because technology is a strategic instrument. Whether we are creating a single learning experience or a course or an entire program, it is crucial to strategically orchestrate the desired outcomes, evaluations, and teaching strategies while using the technology. So because of that reason only, what we have to do means we have to align the technology with pedagogy so that we can improve them, so that will help us in using the better technology. And coming to the identify what students will do with the technology. So these concepts actually explained by the following models. Here, that is like a teacher-centric approach as well as learner-centric approach. And this teacher-centric approach, we are having 4 models. Like first one will be the TPAC model. Coming to the TPAC model, it focuses on technological pedagogy, content knowledge of teacher, how much content the instructor is having, how he can deliver the lecture. And then the SMART model. So according to the SMART paradigm, educators can replace, supplement, alter, or rethink their present instructional approaches by using technology tools. RAT model. So it classifies technological choices in a manner akin to whether they replace, amplify, or alter the methods of instruction already used by the instructor. So for this RAT model, the technology is a best example. And LOTI model. So it depicts 7 levels of technology used by teachers in the classrooms. Coming to the learner-centric approach, PCRAT. A new model, however, has been put forth that builds on the popular SMART RAT approaches, but shifts the focus from how the teacher uses technology to how the students uses technology. So here it is explaining, it is learner-centered means what? So already teachers are using the technology, but how the students are using that technology. So they are utilizing in an appropriate way or not, that we have to check. So here actually we are having like one pedagogy is explained here. These are the learning events. So that is mapped with the core components, core strategies, and core methods. Coming to the core components, we will be having a content, response, learner, and teacher. And here the teacher is delivering the content and how they are getting the response from the learners. And coming to the core strategies, like here we can take the examples of modeling, then reflection, all these things. And coming to the core methods, what type of core methods we are using? Inquiry learning, collaborations, dialogical instructions, all this. And these 3 core components, core strategies, core methods are mapped with the learning units. So what are the outcomes? Here outcomes is like goals, assessment, and activity. This is a pedagogical layer and this is a physical. So coming to the challenges. So actually we are having 3 challenges. Technology can be distracting. So technology can be distracting. Technology can improve learning, but it can also quickly divert attention. It is preferable to use both words and visuals to explain something rather than just words. Use fewer words and images while providing a multimedia explanation rather than more unnecessary notes. So that will, what will happen means if we are providing more pictures or like that, it will distract the students from the original content. Coming to the equity. So although technology has the ability to promote student equity, but sometimes what happens means it frequently serves as a major cause of inequality in terms of the usage, in terms of access, time, cost, and efficiency trade-offs. Incorporating new technology into classroom environment can be expensive, especially if the access is required for a significant number of students. It would be worthwhile. So what we have to means we have to pay for the software and we have to purchase the software. That will be costly. And how long will it take to teach instructor and students how to use the new software? This is also time consuming. So these are the challenges when we are using the technology we have to face. And it is clear that technology plays a very important role in our discipline. First, what we have to do means match the pedagogy to the technology offered. So
So
that
Vanita, I have to interrupt. You have actually run out of time. Can
and
you
I
conclude in 1 minute,
finished, sir,
please?
finished. This is the last slide. And
Okay,
the
sorry.
second
Thank you.
focus was what students will do with the technology. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Vanita, for your presentation. It was very interesting. There is one question for you. Do you think that the models that you have shown, which model is more effective in engineering schools for incorporating technology?
So actually, according to me, teacher-centric, if you are considering a teacher-centered, and two things will be there, learner-centric. So under teacher-centric, we are having 4 models. So here, the focus is totally on the teacher, how the instructor is using the technology. But here, the main thing is what means how we have to concentrate more on pick-out model. That is nothing but learner-centered. So here, what exactly students are learning from the technology and what outcome they are receiving, that is important according to my opinion.
Thank you, Dr. Vanita, for your presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. May I request you to stop sharing your screen, please?
Okay, okay.
Thank you. All right, so that was an interesting presentation. Our next presenter today is Dr. Corinia Abdul Talib. She's a senior lecturer at UTM, it's University of Technology, Malaysia. And her topic is educational game mobile robot for promoting hypothetical creative reasoning among students. So it sounds very interesting. Dr. Corinia, would you mind sharing your screen?
All right, can you hear me and can you see my slide?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Corida Abdul Talib from School of Education, Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, University of Technology, Malaysia, southern part of Malaysia, that is in Johor. And I will present my topic under Track 1, Humanities and Social Sciences, Theme, Transformational Education using Technology, Challenges and Benefits. Then the topic, Designing for Effective Learning using Digital Technology. So I'm honored to be with all of you today. I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to join this event and my presentation entitled Educational Game Mobile Robot for Promoting Hypothetical Creative Reasoning Among Students. All right, and this is the flow of my presentation where I will share with you the why, the how, what education robot, and then followed by developing hypothetical creative reasoning using education robot. And I will also share with you some of the successful stories regarding this project. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we all knew that technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers, it's transformational. Yeah. So technology has always had impact on on our life, right? From its outset. With the evolution and advancement of technology, general sectors are transmuting expeditiously, with no exception in the education sector. So life as we know it has evolved and technology has emerged as a life savior amid all this. All right, robotic technology has recently become a popular educational tool to support STEM education in schools and universities. So robotics is being considered as the 4th R of learning, that is reading, writing, arithmetic, that modern day students must understand to succeed in a highly competitive technology-driven world. So robotics integrates all STEM fields in a way no other subject can cover. It integrates mechanical, electrical, electronics, control engineering, computer science, technology, maths, and science. So furthermore, the use of robots to support the teaching and learning from school to university level has become a crucial research topic in the last 5 years. The use of robots is not limited to engineering, but it's also widely used in science as well as in arts around the world as a method of active learning. Furthermore, robotics increases collaboration and working group skills, helps students procedures according to constructivist learning paradigms, problem-solving skills, and also reasoning skills. So this increase in education robotics has been reinforced by the emergence of and a Robocop, okay, and also Lego League, right? So until now, education robotic tasks could be performed using simulation environments or in laboratories and classroom of an academic institution with the robots, usually acquired at medium or high prices. Okay. All right. So reasoning skills have been characterized as a fundamental skill of the 21st century. So hypothetical creative reasoning skills can be defined as a reasoning skill based on 6 inner dimensions of Lawson's hypothetical predictive reasoning skills, which are hypothetic reasoning, propositional reasoning, controlling variables, probabilistic reasoning, correlation reasoning, and also combinational reasoning. Okay, so and then let's move on. So ladies and gentlemen, in the last few years, the use of ER or education robotics in schools has become a frequent topic of research in education. So ER offers a broad range of challenges and opportunities for learners to develop disruptive thinking, innovative ideas, and other learning skills needed in the classroom and also outside the school, as what shared by the first presenter. Okay, and students can process information faster when they use ER for learning at school. Some studies suggested that ER should be introduced in school curriculum to help students acquire knowledge and skills to perform various activities in their daily lives at school. So my question is, but how can we use ER in the teaching and learning? So perhaps the second speaker framework also can be used here. Okay, but in my scenario, I'm integrating the scientific reasoning skills and the ER with project-based learning and game techniques. Okay, we develop educational game mobile robot. We name it as GameBot for promoting the hypothetical creative listening skills among students. So actually, GameBot was initiated to interactively transform project-based learning programming module into effective driving question tasks via project-based learning game techniques experience. So the questions will drive students to discuss, inquire, investigate the topic. It should push them toward a production or solution. So in the process of investigating the question and sharing their answers, the student stimulates their thinking. Okay, but of course, it is not totally replacing conventional educational robotic modules. Okay, so by using driving questions for project-based learning game technique, through this ER e-learning, students are said to be actively immersed in an experience and promote reasoning skills. I'm going to tell you some successful stories experienced through GameBot. Okay, so I had so this GameBot had been found as a 2-star rating project by University Technology Malaysia. So GameBot had shown results in the change of knowledge, skills, and also attitudes. Can you hear the audio? Okay. So this one is we showcase our GameBot in Indonesia, in Medan and also Riau. And also we expose GameBot to the lecturers, to the undergraduate students, and also the school students. All right. And then okay, so this one we conducted GameBot workshop locally. So during the implementation, we can see students engage with the GameBot activity. They discover on how to solve the task by seeing the user say, now I know, okay, why not we do like this? Okay, why not try do like this? So they try like the science experiment, yeah, always try to manipulative the variables that involved. So as well as it motivates others to complete the task. So when they saw their colleagues or the other groups who can complete the task, they motivated to complete the task as well. So they try to challenge themselves. Okay. And okay, this one is the feedback graded from one student. So let's hear what he said. Yeah.
Art is a very wonderful client experience because you can actually interact with the stuff. And I've never done something like this before.
All right. So he said that he he never explained this kind of thing. So usually robotic kits is just assemble the things without involving the process of thinking. So this time they were challenged. They thought they can settle, they know the solution, but then when they go through the game board, so they experience differently. There's a uniqueness about game board where they need to really think of it when they use the HCR. They need to imagine, they need to hypothesize what's going to be next, yeah, and then along the way they need to give the reason why they did this, why they do this, okay, and then along the way they need to have a creative solution. Okay, so before I end, I would like to share with you all the Gambot journey, from how it gets started and the wonderful memories and also the positive. Okay, last but not least, I would like to express my special thanks to the Info OBE Global Virtual Summit 2022 team especially to Dr. Hassan and also the technical team, Ms. Jennifer Eric, who gave me this golden opportunity to present today this wonderful project, and to all my beloved audience, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. I would also like to thank the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia for this wonderful grant, which also helped me in doing a lot of research. Yeah. Lastly, I would like to thank my family, friends, faculty members, friends, my students who helped me a lot in conducting this project. Thanks again to all who supported. And please do not hesitate to contact me for any collaboration. I'm happy to share about technology-based education and programming, as well as design thinking and computational thinking. I can be contacted at corina@utm.com. So I hope you will be interested to have Gambot. So with that, stay Gambot, stay healthy, stay foolish. Thank you. Back to you, Dr.
Well,
Hassan.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Qorinia Talib, for your wonderful presentation and very exciting work. Just a quick question. After implementing this GameBot, do you find tangible, or have you measured tangible improvement in the quality of the students?
Yes, very good questions. Yeah. So along the way, after several workshops, and also actually we conduct also the pilot study as well. So based on what you asked just now, we do refinement during the workshops, during the training that we went through. And even though the project already completed, but still we need the feedback, because feedback is very important. So every time we did the workshop, we will do reflection, and we always improve, right?
That's
I hope I answer
very
your
good to
question.
know. Yes, that's very good to know. Since we have time, I'll put in another question. So where do you see the futures of this kind of technology in Malaysia and in also abroad?
Okay, thank you for the good question. So yeah, as we can see now, yeah, we have a advanced technology along with the fourth IR industrial revolution, yeah, and also Malaysia sees a very important thing. Malaysia, we had a lot of program regarding STEP education, and I think there's still room for us as the researcher, as educator, to give input on how to implement STEP. And with this prestigious platform like this, yeah, with this good event like this, Info OBE, we can tie the OBE with the technology things, with our teaching and learning, as well as the input from this event. I think from the first speaker until the second speaker, yeah, I also gained a lot, yeah. So this also promote the lifelong learning, and I think it has a very good future in advance in the future, and it really helps us, especially, yeah. I think you also everybody experience COVID-19, how we ad hoc adjust ourselves, yeah, to the environment, suddenly change our teaching and learning from face to face to online learning, yeah. At that time, everybody find difficulties, all feel the challenges, yeah, including the students as well, the parents as well. So but along the way we learn something, and I think we adapt to it, and yeah, thanks to technology we can deliver education smoothly. Yeah, I hope you agree with me. Or maybe you want to share something for the betterment of the Gambot.
I find it very fascinating. I'm sure our audience has enjoyed your presentation very much. It's always nice to see, tangible things that you have shown and being implemented. So congratulations on your work.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
sure
much.
you have lot more interesting things in the future planned. So all the best for that as well.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Talib. All right, so I think we are a bit ahead of schedule, but I think we can continue. Our next speaker is actually Dr. Shahriar Abdul Shukr. Doctor, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, so let me just fix the logistics. May I request Dr. Talib, okay, Dr. Talib has already stopped sharing. So I'm going to make you give the spotlight to you. Spotlight. Right. So our next presentation, it will be presented by Dr. Sharia Abdul Shukur. She's in the Faculty of Sharia and Law in the University of Science Islamia, Malaysia. And right, so I think Dr. Shukur, you can actually start your presentation if you're ready.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hassan, the moderator for today, and respected speakers, moderators. I'd like to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity. I've already shared the slide. I'm not sure whether the slide is already there. Okay, so I'll be delivering an ongoing research on designing legal education curriculum using digital technology, which is a preliminary study, okay, that is being currently conducted for a short term. And basically, we, on behalf of the research team, I'd like to acknowledge and also to thank the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia for giving us the grant to look at the matter of legal education in Malaysia, basically. So in this short time that is given to me, I'll be looking at teaching and learning law from pandemic to endemic. What are the challenges in implementing virtual learning? Assessment issues, accreditation issues, is it acceptable by the professional body? And finally will be suggestion and conclusion. So the pandemic itself is considered basically as a reflection time for students and lecturers, where Malaysia has started compulsory lockdown 18 March 2020. And it is also time to understand this unprecedented phenomena that education must be proceeded with the assistance of technology. And as we all know that most of the faculty of law apply old tradition of method of teaching and learning, even though electronic teaching has emerged since the year 2000, but students and teachers, we can see that still follow up their learning process by face-to-face meeting at classroom. And 100% rely on the shift to 100% reliance on distance learning is challenging for those students and lecturers whose area basically have a weak internet coverage. But the idea of debates on technology assistance in teaching and learning law is not new. We can see literatures from Richard Susskind book, for example, touch on the possible challenges faced by the legal profession. And as what has been voiced by the previous speakers about the possibility of the outcome, okay, that is needed by the profession itself. It also begs us law teachers or lecturers to ask, do we equip our students with the demand of technology in teaching and learning law in the institution? But during this pandemic, as we move to endemic, there is no choice but to limit the contact by working from home and study at home for university students as well as lecturers. And most of the public universities in Malaysia has taken the efforts to make a quick survey on the readiness of the student as well as its academic staff in teaching and learning via the digital environment. For social sciences lecturer, I might say that from my personal experience itself, it was not an easy journey, okay, to convert everything which is being traditional, okay, to an online 100% environment. We used to use the online teaching, but it is also only basically to upload our notes, our instructions, and so on as to support the journey of lecturing itself. So if we can see that in the experiences shared by the law lecturer, for example, suggested that online components that must be included in delivering online teaching for law papers must also be included. And there have been research that what worked well in the real world classroom environment and what worked when they had to shift totally to an online delivery format. So they found that good videos are critical, as voiced by one of the speakers just now, and they explain why and how they created what the student found to be effective instructional videos. So two keywords were found. That is, innovation and creativity are essential in delivering online teaching. And as we know that law subject itself can be very dry, okay, and therefore by injecting this technology has opened eyes the way that traditional licensing structure have impeded effective and efficient delivery of the services itself, including in teaching and also learning. So in the beginning of the pandemic, we can found that what are the difficulties, and this is in line, okay, with what has been found by Langsa and Damsa. There have been lack of equipment, having to learn to use new digital technology and software programs on short notice has discouraged many teachers and lecturers. There have been lack of appropriate space at home and care of children are experienced as obstacle in organizing online teaching, and the issue of data privacy itself, the access to the data privacy from home, it became also an issue. And at the same time, the lecturers have to redesign interactive teaching into online interactive teaching was as experienced as a challenge due to many reasons. And there is a lack of contact with students and peer academics, and high reliance to the technology, to the mobile phone, to get feedbacks not only from students, that also from the colleagues itself represented also the challenge. So teaching that requires practical activities was impossible, okay, as we know that law needs to interact face-to-face more, okay, rather than do it virtually, to organize online. So the issue of own health, okay, as we are struggling with the COVID-19, okay, and then now influenza. So the extent of work and time needed to redesign, represent challenges as well. And in that response, as what has been done by Langsa and Damsa, most responded experienced to 2 to 4 concurrent challenges. So among the issue is about work-life balance and so on. So the issue that came into our discussion is the assessment issues, and the Ministry of Higher Education as well as the agency who is looking at the quality and the qualification of the program had issued guidelines for the alternative methods during the trial time of the pandemic. And there have been updates from the ministry, especially to the foreign student as well as the local student, about the standard of operating procedures during and after COVID-19 pandemic on movement control order as regard to access and borders as well. According to Datuk Pamjit Singh, the president of Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities, each alternative assessment approach must be designed to ensure that students achieve the learning outcomes for the subject and course. This has to go through a review and quality assurance procedure and ultimately be approved, okay, by the university's Senate. So that might be a struggle, okay, in the beginning. Okay, as every semester that we need to redesign and look at the curriculum itself. But in one of the perspective, according to Professor Peter Cripps, okay, the Pro-Chancellor External from UK, stated that it is fascinating to see how quickly the profession has become accustomed to virtual communication. This will not necessarily replace face-to-face client relationship, but show that the profession is agile and able to support and work with clients in new ways. For legal profession, the shift to the new way of working and supporting the client is applicable for the word of public interest. However, Professor Julian Webb highlighted the issue of assessment has been relatively little public discussion among the Faculty of Law. And COVID-19 clearly has significant implication for grading. Conventional large group examination clearly cannot safely be held under pandemic condition. There are really significant well-being issues. And the number of law students caught during the online examination are increasing during the hybrid mode of teaching and learning, as we can see from our experience itself. changes to assessment processes should, in some respect, be less difficult to implement than the wholesale scale move to online, but they do risk bringing the law schools into conflict with system of professional regulation that were clearly not designed with the pandemic condition in contemplation. And as we can see, among the issues that raised in Malaysia, particularly on assessment issue, as a general background, that Malaysia law degrees are regulated through a variety of mechanisms. It exercises layers of control via the legal profession quality board to ensure the quality of the law graduates, and for the new faculty of law to undergo periodic revision determined by LPQB. So the law graduates, in order to qualify to undergo pupillage for 9 months, they need to have a degree that is recognized by the LPQB. For law graduates who graduated from overseas, they are required to sit for CLP examination, and it is sad to see that the examination was postponed for almost 2 years, and I think they have started to offer the exam again, the professional paper, in order for the law graduates from overseas to do chambering, they have to sit for the CLP. So it became a national issue at that time, and as time goes by, the implementation of online or virtual classes in teaching and learning law are not to say easy to implement. Yet the law degree itself might not be accepted by the professional body, that is the LPQB. So what is the purpose of having law faculty, but the law graduates are not qualified to practice as an advocate and solicitor? Malaysia, the higher learning institution concept at the same time, Malaysia has moved forward, especially to the Ministry of Higher Learning Education, the concept of micro-credential, which is a concept which is still novel, and identifying insights on the benefit, challenges, and applications are still scarce. And similarly, it was observed that there is a lack of observation on how student digital learning identity and their perception of professional relevance are influenced by such a platform. So again, that the issue of the future of the law graduates in limbo, and the issue of accreditation, whether the method of delivering what I call lecture through online, to virtual classes are acceptable by the qualifying board. And at the same time, in the Ministry of Higher Education itself, education sectors have started to implement micro-credential, as I mentioned earlier, in teaching and learning law in higher education. So we are just adapting to the new method of what I call teaching and learning. And what we know that micro-credential are designed with specific learning paths and involve studying a program at their own place and in mainly online environment. And in most cases, students pursue micro-credential because they offer the flexibility for you to study at your own pace, allowing you to complete a program in your own time. And as what we can see, that it is also the what you call the way of micro-credential that's being offered, actually being also tried by other what you call universities itself. So in implementing virtual teaching and learning law for Faculty of Laws in Malaysia, basically it need endorsement also from the professional body. So for Faculty of Law in Malaysia, we have been very particular in terms of assessment, in terms of quality, in terms of whether all the methodology in what we call in OBE itself will be accepted by the professional body itself. So the Ministry of Higher Learning is the authority in endorsing new program for universities in Malaysia. However, for law program in public university in Malaysia, there have been moratorium for new faculty of law, which means that there have been no new faculty of law that can be offered. And it has been implemented by the ministry since year 2007, and now it is subject to revision to this year. And therefore, as the challenge, okay, as we can see, from moving from pandemic to endemic, we have to look also at the issue of the graduate employability, as it is also related to how the methodology of teaching and learning is being delivered in the Faculty of Law in Malaysia itself. So in general, for law graduates to practice as a lawyer or to be qualified as a judge in Malaysia, okay, basically there are two routes. Either they do it locally, but again, it is subject to recognition from the legal qualifying board, whether the degree is recognized or not. And secondly, if they graduated from overseas, from law overseas faculty, they have to sit for certificate legal practice that is called CLP. So that is the most crucial thing in entrance for practice, for legal practice. So these two things, assessment and also accreditation, are two things that need to be highlighted also in designing curriculum for law faculty, especially when we look at science faculty or technology faculty. They have they have come to the extent to bring all this AI technology, like what we were trying, like University Kebangsaan Malaysia, they are looking at how gaming, okay, might assist in making learning and teaching law is as an exciting we call program for the student, not only for the student but also for the law lecturers itself. So I believe that this is the short, sharing, as this is a work in progress. I do welcome any question from the presenters or from the moderator itself. With then, I'd like to thank again to the organizer. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharia Abdul Shukur, for your presentation. You bring a very interesting observation, because so far a lot of the presentations or the studies are based on technology schools or business schools. So it's very interesting to hear what is happening in law. So the question for you is, when you actually measure the outcome, is it difficult for faculty of law in terms of how you want to achieve the outcomes that you have set?
Thank you very much. It is very an interesting question. Basically, the outcome, the measure, how do we measure is how do we get the feedback from the industry itself, that is from the practicing lawyers, from the practicing judges. And most of the current employer might say that they want to have a practice-ready law graduates. It means that once you have graduated, you have this exposure to hands-on what is happening in the law practice itself. So I hope I did answer your question. So how to measure is very subjective, but again, it is not sufficient just to look at the examination grade that you achieve A. It reflects that you are a brilliant student, but at the end of the day, the student cannot communicate well, cannot deliver well. Might be on paper, the student might deliver an excellent answer according to what is in the answer scheme or in the outcome of the examination. But I believe that for professional paper like law, it needs more soft skill, it needs more empathy and any other skill that need to be embedded in future law graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Shukur, for such an elaborate answer, explaining the need for soft skills as well, which we feel that a lot of the times is underrated, but I believe it's very critical to achieving any outcome. So again, thank you for your presentation, Doctor.
Yeah.
May I request you to stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, I'm
Dr.
looking for
Shukur?
the, sorry.
Right. So our next presenter is Dr. Voon Yeon Ting. She is the senior lecturer at New Era University College, Malaysia's Institute of International Education. And her topic is influence of students' engagement towards students' achievements between the quiz-based micro-lecture approach and discussion-based micro-lecture approach. So sounds very interesting. May I request, yes,
Okay.
let
Good
me
day,
sort out
everyone.
yes, just one
Okay.
second, doctor. I'm just sorting out the
Okay.
logistics. We have time, so it should not be a problem.
Yes.
Right, so, okay, let me make you the spotlight for everyone.
Okay.
I think we are good to go. May I
Okay.
request you to start your presentation, please? Thank you.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Okay. Good day for Dr. Hassan and all the respected speaker. My name is Voon Yeon Ting. I'm Dr. Voon from the Institute of International Education from New Era University College in Malaysia. So because I'm the last speaker for today, so try to do something interactive. Okay. So my I don't have prepared like the PowerPoint or something, but I try to make everyone can like two-way interaction. So I hope everyone can follow my instruction. Whether you go to the website www.mt.com and enter the code, or you can use the QR code. So after that, then we can do some that it doesn't is a game, but it's something is interactive activity. I hope everyone can try. Maybe you can scan by using the QR code. Okay. So after that, okay, just tell me. Okay, so we will move to the presentation. Okay, so about my topic is in front of the student engagement towards the student achievement between two approach is like micro lecture. One is for the quiz and one is for the discussion based. So now let us go to the presentation. Okay, so do you know micro lecture? Okay, for this one, if you know, you can say a comment, yes. If you don't know, you also can say no. So it's something when we talk about this kind of topic, sometimes we want to do like set induction for our students, something we can do about this. So, okay. So maybe I can show you an example. So some people will say yes, or some people will say no. Okay, it depends. Okay, so now we go to about the definition for the micro lecture. Okay, for this one, wait for a while. Okay. So a micro lecture refers to the pre-class video lecture that are posted on an online learning platform to reinforce the students' knowledge on learning topic. So this is some of the topic that I have implement and apply for my students last time. So this is all about the ICT topics. So this is something I want to show to you all. It is some of the definition for the micro lecture. Okay. So, okay. So this is another section. Micro lecture approach can be used in higher education institutions as a self-study medium or as an educational technique to improve the learning process. Okay, so when you are using your mobile phone or using your laptop or your like desktop, you can see all my slides. Yeah? If you cannot see, please inform me about that. So this is one of the approach. This is one of the approach that I'll be using. Okay, later I will show you. Okay, so flipped classroom is one of the most recent approach to using video as a learning tool. So why I'm interested about this topic, because last time when I was a master student, the first word or the first term I listen from my lecture is flipped classroom. So I try to think about the definition, what means flipped classroom? Because last time when I was a student, normally inside our class, normally is like what just now one of the presenters said is about more is like teacher-centered instruction compared to the learner-centered instruction. So something when I listen about this term, it's become very, how to say, interesting for me. So I try my best to do some research about this topic. Okay. So, okay. So what is mean interactivity and engagement? So in teaching and learning process, interaction is required to engage the students, and there's a link between interactivity and engagement. So this is one of the environment, learning environment, and this is me. If you can find, this is last time when I was the lecturer. Okay, for this experiment. Okay. So for my research objective, this study aims to investigate the influence of student engagement towards the student achievement between the quiz-based micro-lecture approach and discussion-based micro-lecture approach in flipped classroom environment. Because as you know, when we were student before, we normally, when we listen to the lecture, sometimes we cannot focus after a few minutes. It's because of the attention spans. That means when we are doing something for our students or for other like learners, we can try to do something, very short video for them. Maybe the video you can like consist of a few videos for certain topic, and later I will show you my example about that. Okay, so what means quiz-based micro-lecture approach? Okay, so this is one of my example. Okay, so this is one of the topic, Bloom taxonomy, and you can see this is for example, okay, this is the screen that I have been shared to you all, and you can see from the right side, this some like you can do like multiple choice for the students. You can do like open-ended question and some of the open comment and so on. There are a lot of things you can use the app puzzle, and this is I'm using to implement for the student. So you can see from all the like the button or the something like the black dot here, all is the question. This means the student cannot skip the question. They have to watch the video, well, answer the question. So this is something I want to show you, maybe something for them to remember or understand about the topic. Maybe some students will feel frustrated. I cannot like skip the video, but because this is one of their tasks, so they have to do that. Okay, so let's go to another slide. Okay. Okay, so this is also the same. This is some of the, okay, the 6 topic. So this is something I show you, multiple choice, open-ended, and so on. Okay. So you can see there are a lot of questions. The question is depend to the instructor, whether you want to give them multiple choice, open-ended, and so on. Okay. Okay, so this is all the example for you all to watch about that. Okay, so now we go to discussion-based micro-lecture. For the discussion-based micro-lecture, I'm using the Padlet. I think most of the instructor, educator here know about this. So you can share, you can upload a video for the students, and you give them the time frame for them to watch and answer a question. So maybe, for example, this is like the Bloom taxonomy. You can ask them to how you apply the Bloom taxonomy in teaching and learning. So please share your idea here after they watch the video. So this is another micro lecture approach that I want to share to all the speakers here. Okay, this is my idea. Last time I'm doing with my students. Okay. Okay, now we go to another slide. So you can see the student, they have to answer all the, because I have to do some marking for them. Because because I'm doing something like the flipped classroom environment, that means all the tasks for, sorry, I forget to talk about this. For the app puzzle and the Padlet, they have to watch all the video and do all the tasks before they are coming to the class. That means they have to, for example, they have to watch this video and answer the question. And after that, because the flipped classroom is different from other traditional classroom. So when they are coming to the class, we will do more like higher order thinking activity for them. Maybe they have to do some role play, presentation, debate about the topic. Okay, so now this is some example, and this is some of the slide for the student, the task, okay, for them. Okay. So, because I know it's very hard for you all to decide which one you want to choose. But if you, if you are my students, which one you will prefer? Because you haven't know the finding, right? So you want the quiz-based or discussion-based, you just click your answer, okay? If you like the quiz-based, like when you are watching the video, well, you can answer some questions, then you can use the quiz-based. Or if you want to do the discussion, you also can do, okay. So I I already see some of the participants already give me the answer. Okay, you like the quiz-based micro-lecture approach. Okay, wonderful. So now we go to, okay, the finding. Okay, actually the finding last time is not really like, it's like some like contradict. Okay, because in a flipped classroom environment, when we are doing some finding, right, there is no significant difference in student engagement between the quiz-based micro-lecture and the discussion. That means I cannot find the significant difference. So, but this doesn't mean that my study is failed, right? Because that means I have something that maybe it's something factors that infect my result. So despite the fact that student engagement has not effect of the student achievement, the students in the quiz-based micro-lecture approach outperform students in the discussion-based micro-lecture approach on each test. This means, although the result, we can see the result is not like sometimes we hope some result will come out like maybe like significant different or something, right? But when the result is like out of our expectation, it means that we can do more in our future research. So furthermore, the student in the quiz-based micro-lecture approach express more enthusiasm and positive comment when they are doing the activity. Because why I'm applying the quiz-based and discussion-based, because like the hops, right, the higher order thinking, I want them to like the remembering, understanding when they are doing outside the class. But when we are doing something in class activity, I can perform more, like in the higher level of thinking for the students. So this is something I want to share to all the speakers or all the lecturers here. Maybe this is one of the idea. Although I think it's a lot of subjects you also can apply for this, but not all the content. That means maybe you can pick some of the learning topic, whether you think is suitable for your student or for the levels of your student. It depends when you are considered about that, okay? So many recommendations can be made based on this study in order to promote the collaboration, efficacy, and collegiality, as well as to investigate the opportunity provided by the flipped classroom environment using the quiz-based micro-lecture for student engagement and achievement. Okay, wait for a while. Okay, so I have give you some of the recommendation because this is just a very short sharing idea sessions. So if you want to know more about that, maybe you can contact me later, or any question you also can ask me. Okay, so maybe you have any question, you can write your question here. Wait for a while, I think got a chat here.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you very much, Dr. Ting, for your nice and interactive presentation.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hassan.
Right, so I'm just checking whether we have any question, unless I have my some of my own. Anyway, all right. So my question is, you know, these two approaches you mentioned. I mean, does it make a difference on what you are studying or what topic you are teaching?
Actually, because I got divided then into two groups, but actually they didn't know what they are how to say, they are learning the same topics, but they don't know whether they are using the Haphazard or Padlet. So that's means whether they are using the quiz-based or whether they are using the discussion-based. So they are like, how to say, because this is first time for them to try this type of like the flipped classroom approach. This is something like flipped classroom approach for them. So they feel very fresh, interesting, excited, because they ask me and they like inform me that teacher or like the doctor, last time although I learned a lot of topic or a lot of lesson from other lecturer, but you are the first one who try your best to give us something different, because they are all like digital native, you know, so you feel boring, you know. Sometimes after 15 minutes, maybe they already chat with their friend, maybe they are watching video, YouTube, because we were the student before. So I try my best to do something, because the sample is undergraduate. So I try my best to do something different or something I hope I can gain from my lecturer last time. So I try my best to give them something different. But they are doing something like very, how to say, very easy task. They are just watch the video, they are doing some tasks, but they are doing more when they are coming to my class. So this is something I want to share to Dr. So I hope I already answer your questions. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ting. I mean, I do wholeheartedly agree with you. I mean, if it is interactive, I'm sure the student engagement and motivation level, I think it's a lot higher. So, I mean, again, congratulations on your innovative effort and wish you all the best.
Thank you. And sometimes, sorry, I don't say I want to promote Mentimeter, but sometimes when you are one feedback from your audience, you also can do something like me. So sometimes you can ask your audience to give some like comment or feedback for you. Maybe some they don't want to talk, but sometimes they will like to like share with you. They will writing down. So maybe we can share to each other. So this is something I want to share to you all. Thank you, Dr. Hassan, and all the presenter today. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ting. I mean, I'm sure the audiences would mind what you have said and maybe get in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Right. Dr. Ting, may I request you to stop the share, please?
Yes, wait for a while. Okay. Where because now I don't know where to. Sorry.
It's all right. Take your time.
So where should I wait for a while? Stop share. Sorry, Dr.
I think
Hassan,
I can- Yeah, I can
Sorry.
do it. Sorry, sorry.
sorry.
Fine.
Yeah,
No worries.
yeah, because I cannot find the button just now. Yeah, sorry.
No worries, no problem. May I request all our panelists to please switch on your video, please? Dr. Vanita and Dr. Grosek, if you could just switch on your video, that would be great. Anyway, so I think we had five five very interesting papers that were presented here today. I'm sure the audiences would have enjoyed it and probably get in touch with you if they feel the need. Again, congratulations on your work. I would like to again thank you for taking this opportunity to be a speaker and presenting your work in the Info-OBE Virtual Summit 2022. And as we have unfortunately come to the end of this session. It was very great and it was a very exciting work that you have presented, and I thank you for your time, for your effort, and all the best to you. With this, I would like to end this session. Thank you.